Hi, this is a tutorial on how to install a Kyocera multifunction device, especially for the Task Alpha series machines, so that you can do the settings and stuff like that. First, you need to download the drivers. You go to kyocera-solutions.com and click on the support and download site. Scroll down a little bit. I'm here in the United States, so I click on download from the United States site, and then from here you select what category your machine is under. So I'm selecting the one that is for, no, let me see, that didn't work. This is for a color multifunction device. The model number that I'm probably just going to download, just regular model 4550, and here's the print driver. Click on find, and you will then find a lot of links to different drivers and these machines. This is the latest driver. This is one of Kyocera's uh, drivers that used specifically for their machines. It's their full-featured driver. Click on that and then click on download. There's several different links that you can hit to give you the download. At this point, you can just hit save or save now. I've already downloaded the driver because it's fairly big, and I've extracted it, so it comes out in this folder here. Click on open that folder, and you run this little utility. Setup will install a little library or installer. And this usually, depending on how fast your computer is, this process can take as little as a couple of minutes or as long as 5 minutes. Click on accept and OK. Now you can go to Express. Here's all the different different machines that I have on my network here. So I'm going to select the 4551. And you can click these off also. These are extra stuff that come with the driver. I just like to click off the status monitor, but leave the other two. So I just go tell it to install, and this usually will take the most amount of time installing the drivers. Now there are some other settings that I'm going to show in this this tutorial on how to default the machine to black and white, because it is a color driver. Some people like to have it in black and white. Then they can choose the color selections once they are about ready to print. As you can see now, it's done installing the drivers. It is now installing some of the extra fonts that the driver has, and also installing what they call an uninstaller, which will allow you to uninstall the driver using this utility. It is kind of important to have that uninstaller in there. Sometimes these drivers, when you go to just remove them or just delete them from your printer window, they don't like that, especially if they're shared. They may have some issues with that. Now we're done with the install. You can select these settings here. For instance, set duplex as default. Most people don't want duplex. And the quick print tab, I normally just click that off. It's a lot more confusing for the driver. Anyways, once you're done, you're finished, and you can then just exit directly out of the utility here. I'm going to close my driver folder. Here is our driver that we just created. So normally I would just right click and go to printer properties, and these are the properties that I have on here. Here's the device. This is what the device looks like. Gives you a little graphic of what it is, all the different options that it has. This is already automatically connected and given me the options that the driver has, or the printer has. Normally I go into the advanced tab and printing defaults. This is where I set the driver to default to black and white. I do it from this screen because then any other profile or somebody that logs into this computer will actually also get these defaults. One other thing I do recommend that you change is to change a media type to plain. That is the most common one. Under unspecified, what this driver will do is it will print. It doesn't care what media type you have on in the printer. It will just print it out. So if you have expensive paper or the letterhead or any of that stuff, if it runs out of regular plain paper, it'll just pull from any of the other trays that has the appropriate size. And I click OK, and I can tell that this is set correctly because if I go to preferences, it is now set to black, and my media type is set to plain, and I just select print page. This will send a print job to my printer. Now you can also load a driver for this driver using the old-fashioned way of installing the printer. Just go to add printer, and I'm using Windows 7 in this case, but just go add a local printer, create a port for it, and let's see here, I am going to create, I know what the IP address of my printer is, and in order for you to do it this way, it's a little bit more difficult, but if you know the IP address, you can also install the driver this way. So I go into have disk here, I select have disk. I'm going to load a black and white driver that I have on the network also, printer, black and white printer that I have. So I tell it to have disk and browse out to where I have the drivers. I have it in this folder. This is the same folder we were at earlier. I go to 64-bit and newer and OEM, say OK, and now it gives you a list of all the print drivers that are on that file. I am going to go down to the section where I have the printer that I'm looking for. It is a Kyocera Task Alpha 3500i. Say next. That's you can name it, rename the printer at this point if you want. Next. Now it's installing all the drivers that it has, all the files that it needs to install for the driver. This would also sometimes take a while because it is a fairly big set of drivers. I don't want to share this printer. Say next. Do I want it to set as default? Not right now. I can print a test page from here, but normally I want to finish. Here's our print driver. So let's check the properties of the print driver. If I go to that driver or that printer also looks like this. Then since it is a black and white printer, there's no reason to select you know, print off or on for or color or black and white. Just this is just going to be black and white. The Eco Print, when you turn it on, will reduce the amount of ink toner that goes on the page, and it will make it look really gray. Not very good copy quality. The only thing I had to change here is the plain paper. Say OK, and then I tell it to print, and it is printing right now. Thank you very much for watching my video.